Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two 40% alcohol rums. I'll show you that. Well, let me go wipe this off. It was smudgy looking, which I hate. I like the bottles to be clean and nice. This is Don Q rum. See if it'll focus. Introduced in 1865. There it is. Produced in Puerto Rico by the Destilería Serrallés, the Serrallés family owned, well, at least family founded. I think they're in a collaboration with Bean Company now, but I could be wrong. It could just be distribution, but a family legacy since 1865. Okay. Certified kosher rums of Puerto Rico. That's right. Aged rum. It's one of the rums of Puerto Rico. And if you look at that trade association, they have a very good website. In order to join that, obviously your rums have to be made in Puerto Rico, and also they have to be aged at least a year in white oak barrels. There's some other stipulations, quality stipulations. You could look it up. Might have something to do with you can't add flavoring, whatever. I guess I could look that up. I had a little time. Ken Brown says another taste challenge. Yeah, yep. Now the competitor, I don't know when this was introduced, but I know it wasn't 1865, but it's Calypso Gold, and it's rum with natural flavors. Oh boy. And it's based on the story of Calypso from Homer's Odyssey, but then on the front label, it's got a woman dressed up like Mrs. Captain Morgan. So not a bad looking label, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, and they're trying to feed off of Captain Morgan, and no one is fooled by that. Like no one would ever go to a store and think. No one would ever go to a liquor store and say, "Oh, that's Captain Morgan." But that's not the point. They know no one's going to do that. They're just trying to feed into that thinking. You see what I'm saying? Trying to get your mind working to think along those lines. And anytime Captain Morgan changes their label, you'll notice that the other companies sort of like follow suit. Like Captain Morgan went to this colored label with the red, white, and blue. Like the captain was wearing red, white, and blue. There it is. There she is. Well, the glare, but red, white, and blue. So I think now Captain Morgan sees everybody copying them, and now you notice Captain Morgan has a new label, which is more of a standard thing without the cartoon character so much on it, and it's like they're trying to stay ahead of the followers. I don't think they should care. Like they should just say, let them do what they want, as long as they're not openly violating a trademark. Stanley Wayne Rolls says, "Good morning, cheers." Cheers to you, Stanley. To Wayne. Let's see something here. Lady Bly. I want to see what Lady Bly rum looks like. Lady Bly. Yeah, here we go. Bring up an image search. Yeah. It's too funny. I wish I could do screen share on these guys. It is too funny. Yep, same thing. It's almost like the same label, but it isn't. But it just as soon be. I mean, it may as well be. Oh, and here's one she's wearing look like Captain Morgan. She even got the pants. One she's wearing a skirt. I mean, it is so funny. All right. It's so funny. I'm not even going to pay any more mind to it. Let's get off of that. Okay, let's go to the rums of Puerto Rico, something more serious. Rums of If you ever get a chance to go to Walmart or whatever, that if your Walmart sells liquor, mine does. Let's see. These websites are not working. It's really aggravating. Okay, quality molasses, whatever that means. I remember this now, looking at it. Continuous distillation process is mandatory. They got to use continuous distillation process. Aged for a minimum of 1 year in American oak barrels, produced in Puerto Rico, rum capital of the world. So, yeah, they're not saying anything about flavor and coloring. So there you go. I guess that's in play, right? I usually go by Stanley, but also by my middle name, Wayne, and some of my brothers call me by my family nickname, Bubba. We are all probably of many names. Okay. I don't want to insult anybody. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I would think, and I would certainly hope that I could get this correct. Now I got 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Yesterday was no contest. There was no way in the world I was going to confuse Calypso with Boqueron Gold Rum because they didn't taste alike. They tasted totally different one from another. I can't really say one was better than the other, although my personal preference was to go with the Boqueron. I like the richer flavor, but some people might prefer drier rum. Multiple names of the fine rums, right? Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Maxwell. In the Russian Federation. Uh, anyway, sorry about my nose. So look at the appearance. Yeah. Oh heck, I need to add more of the Don Q. Now, why do they call it Don Q if it's made by Serrallés? Well, they said that the guy that started the company, the family, their favorite novel was Don Quixote by who's that? Cervantes, that Spanish guy. So they named it after their favorite novel, Don Q. Yeah, Familia Serrallés Don Q. So gold rum. All right. They're showing the distillery and some family symbols and some people harvesting sugarcane and so forth. Okay, big glass bottle. It's a handle, but it's not plastic like some of the cheaper ones. Although Captain Morgan is a big, no, it's a glass bottle too. Never mind. Um, I have a big glass bottle of Captain Morgan white rum, which I got on a great deal. But that was a great deal too. That was $13.99. Look at that, $13.99. Try finding that handle for $13.99. I bet you won't. And they were both the same price, the gold and the silver, which they call Cristal. And I was like, man, if I wait around, the price is going to go up. I got to go back and buy it. So next time I go to Metairie, I'm buying it. So I bought both in about a week. $27.98 for 2 handles of quality rum. Can't complain. And the price did go up, obviously. Okay, well, I'm not going to keep playing mix and match to try to get the amount the same, but it's pretty much the same now. What do we notice? Well, I noticed that the Don Q is darker. It ought to be darker. It's got a blend of 1.5 to 5 years old rum. So the youngest rum in the blend is a year and a half old, aged in American oak. And the oldest is 5. So somebody's calling me. I'm going to totally ignore that. Anybody who calls me before 6 a.m. gets ignored. There's no call for that unless it's a death or a wreck. And if I hear something otherwise, I'm not happy because it's a joke. Now here is but it's like the boy that cried wolf. You know, you start getting these calls before 6 a.m. and you say, "Oh, it must be an emergency." You answer it, and it's some ridiculousness. So then it could be something serious, and you don't answer it. You know. Okay. So pale straw, a straw appearance. All right. I got a clip. Wow, good deal. I know, it's an amazing deal. Good morning, Ron. Okay. People ask me, why do you wake up so early to the main reason I wake up so early is to be left alone. That's the truth. I get up at 2, like this morning, 2:20 a.m. and I can watch all the baseball highlights. Well, it's not baseball season right now. Basketball highlights, football highlights, read all the stories, the pertinent stories that I need to read about my teams, look at the standings, look at the stats, look at Facebook, you know, same old stuff on there, but post my posts like the music of the day on Rock and Roll Club and photo of the day on Alcohol Eggs, and start listening to beer reviews or whatever that I've got in my waiting list to watch list and that. But it's to be left alone, because in the afternoon when people are driving home from work, they'll call me, I guess because they want somebody to talk to. And I just can't listen to any reviews, because only people who call me are long talkers. You know what I'm saying? Only the good friends I have are long talkers. So they call me and it's not going to be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? All right, I'll talk to you later." It's going to be a long thing. And I'm just listening. Usually I just say, "Oh yeah, wow, that's something else. What do you know about that?" You know, my whole strategy is to exit the call. But, you know, I'm nice about it. And I'll say, "Yeah, I've been to that liquor store." Oh, yes. I'm not a long talker generally. And so I try to like maneuver those phone calls at a dead period for me. But this time of the morning is definitely not. And so I just out of hand ignore them. But like I said, it could be an emergency. And that puts those people at it's a terrible disservice to people who really might need to make a call. Okay. But that's the main reason, just to hide out. I even put on my Facebook page, I am not chatty. I put that as my Facebook description. Some people don't pick up on that by virtue of the fact that they try to chat me up on Facebook with open-ended chat. Very irritating. Okay. But usually it kind of dies out when they realize it's a one-way conversation, you know. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's never about being rude or friendly or anything. It's just I'm not that. I cannot be that person. That's not my personality. So I'm not going to fake it and just act like I'm like so engaged. You know, it would be fake. You know, and usually the people chat me up on Facebook are people I do not know. They just wanted to be my friend because they watch my channel, and then it's like it could be any topic, doesn't matter, y'all, and then it would be on and on. So I started watching the Vikings in 1996, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right. I've been to Minnesota. You know, I'm trying to, you know what I'm trying to do. All right. Very dry in the nose, meaning it doesn't smell like it's going to have sweetness. Now, I know you can't smell sweetness in a technical sense, but you could smell it in a practical sense. and I'm smelling it here. This is much richer, a much more glorious, if you want to call it, aroma, much more pronounced aroma, fulfilling aroma. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Don Q is not an expensive rum. I mean, you're not gonna get it for $5.89 like I got the Calypso. That's super bottom shelf. Let's be honest, but it's pretty good actually for what you're paying for. But the Don Q, you can find a bottle $9.99 here and there. Probably pay more than that, but you can run across it. So this is the Don Q, obviously. Yeah. So I guessed it on aroma only. So now I got 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. I'm trying to keep track of that. 3, 1, and 1. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Subtle sweetness. And that's what I'm saying. Subtle sweetness. So you're not getting sweetness here. You're getting oak, not charred oak or anything such as that, but just mild oak. And it's pleasant. It's mellow. They say they have natural flavors added. I don't know what those flavors could be because it just tastes like regular old dry rum to me. So I don't know what Sazerac is doing at Glenmore Distillery in Owensboro, Kentucky. Are they adding 1 droplet of vanilla extract for every barrel? I mean, if you see this label, don't shy away from it because it says with natural flavor, because you're not going to detect it unless you have some super tasting ability, because it just tastes like regular rum to me. Now, some of these flavored things is over the top. It's like, come on, focus, man. Over the top garishness, like that 1889 Gold Rum, 1889 Royal Brandy. It's total craziness, It tastes like vanilla extract. That's what it tastes like, or vanilla wedding cake frosting is what I said. I mean, yeah, if I'm drinking a cream soda, no problem. I'm drinking a cream soda, which I wouldn't drink, but I mean, that's not something I would drink. But we're speaking in a hypothetical sense. But to buy a brandy that tastes like cake icing or vanilla extract is bad. So I gave it a B-. I mean, the flavor was good, but it was so improper I could not give it any kind of respect. This one is proper. I would prefer if they didn't add flavoring just to see what it truly tastes like. But maybe they're doing me a favor. Maybe it is a little off or something. And maybe that flavoring tweaks it to be more proper. I don't know. $5.89 a bottle. I guess you got to consider any possibilities. Doesn't look like it's colored, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't say colored. It doesn't look like it's a rum of color. Got to use the correct term. Doesn't look like a rum of color. It looks like it is not colored. It's just so pale straw. And same thing here. This Don Q is a winner beyond all belief. Don Q, it is one for me and you. Don Q is for me and you. It is a rich, succulent, medium. It's not like light molasses, like medium molasses. And that's because the combination of the 1.5 all the way up to 5-year age rums. It's amazing that they can make it so rich and complex, but yet it's only $13.99. Do I see a lot of people talking about Don Q rum? No. Do I see a lot of people doing videos for Don Q rum? No. When I did a video review search, I didn't find too much, but it's a shame. Now they had a lot of like Spanish language videos, which in Portuguese, well, I can't understand those, but and you can't use closed caption because it just read it out in Spanish, But it's amazing, really. It is an amazing rum for the price point. It is. Calypso's not amazing. It's just amazing that it's not nasty, That's the amazing thing, that it's enjoyable and it's not gross. Because a lot of these $5.89 bottom shelfers, I mean, but really, where can you find any liquor for $5.89? Usually they'd be like, You say, what's up with this? But this one's just like right in the mix. Jason Cleveland says, good morning, Jay. Listening on my way to the airport to fly to Soviet Socialist Municipality of San Francisco. Oh, yes, I know, I've been there. It wasn't totally under the Bolshevik control yet, but it was pretty much, in 2006. Now it's totally Bolshevicized, and you have the results: businesses leaving, economy slowly crumbling. But it's a good thing in a way because it's a lesson to everyone else. It's like, you want to be like that, in about 5 more years it'll look worse than Beirut. So you say, I think they're going to take Rice-A-Roni and they're going to change their labeling. Instead of the San Francisco treat, they're going to start calling it the Beirutian treat, because they'll find that Beirut, Lebanon, is a nicer town than San Francisco. Or Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It'll start looking like Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, if that's what you like, if you think that's equity and inclusion, you say, but everybody's in a wretched state. And that's equality. Yes. Everybody in the cemetery is equal, but they're in an equal state in this temporal plane. You understand? Okay. Well, we don't want to get too metaphysical here. Herbie on Wheels says hi. Hi to you, Herbie. So that's it. I once lived in San Francisco, says Isle of Fire. Oh, well. Oh boy. Then moved to Montana. Oh, good. Too cold for me, but I've been there. Had some good flautas in Montana once. All right. The winner clearly is Don Q. And then moved to San Diego. Okay. The winner is Don Q. No question, or there's nothing to equivocate on. It's just the winner. That's it. Don Q is clearly better. Then back to Hawaii. Okay. I had a horse once on Coney Island and got hit by a car. Okay, but anyway, what are you going to do? But no knock against the story goes on, but back to rum, right? No knock against the Calypso, okay? But it's a little too dry for me, a little too basic for me. Would I buy it again? Theoretically, yes. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would clearly recommend it. But I would say spend a little bit more money and get Don Q. You're going to spend a little bit more. Well, actually twice as much, but you're going to get, it'll be twice as good. So it's up to you. It'll be twice as good. So there you go. The winner, Don Q. And I got another win on my record book. So we'll come back tomorrow, Wednesday, for another rum taste challenge. And I believe it's going to be Bacardi, and that will be an epic showdown, but it'll be laughable. The results will be laughable. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.